Happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Dean.
Yeah, my name is Tyler, and we're here with some patch notes for you guys.
Yes, sir. 13.6. Relatively small patch,
Yeah.
but I think the biggest thing is our boy Milio is coming out.
Yep, the little boy, Milio, the Gentle Flame.
Is that what his title
The
is?
Gentle Flame.
The gentle bitch?
Oh!
Okay,
Whoa. He's a big bitch. He's got that range buff, dude.
that's true. He's a big bitch. Okay. But yeah, guys, we got patch notes coming out. It like I said, it is a very short patch, but you know, we might end up talking for like 2 hours or something. Who fucking knows?
You might be right.
Yeah, man. I guess the only other thing I wanted to say, of course, well, aside from shouting out the YouTube guys, you know, come on over here. According to Low Elo, you know, I found out you do not have to use the quotation marks.
Oh, is it popping up finally?
Yep,
Let's
you just search
go.
according to Low Elo, and boom, here you are, guys. We got a new short out. This sick ass Thresh play that Tyler had on an ARAM.
It was fun.
Pretty good. Check it out. Check out the other various shorts, and of course, check out the gameplay. I put up a gameplay of Vi.
Yep.
Last week, Saturday. I mean, and then we have a pretty good one coming out this weekend. Finally, it's a game of just Tyler and myself.
It's been a long time coming.
It was an awesome game. I'm not going to
was.
spoil anything, but that will be up on Saturday. So get ready for that.
Yes,
But yeah, make sure you come here and sub to the channel.
there will likely be some shorts coming from that as well. You can find
yeah.
them on these platforms right here. Pretty
You'll find
straightforward.
us.
You'll
just
see
just
it.
look for the logo.
Yep.
Right here. You'll see it.
Yep.
But yeah, that is, yeah, make sure you check out the YouTube. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, we haven't been playing that much.
No.
I haven't been playing that much.
It actually has made me enjoy the game more.
Right. I know both of us started playing Last of Us Part 2.
Yep.
I've been enjoying that.
Yep.
I know the Diablo 4 beta is this weekend, so I'm going to check that out. And then gave up on Hogwarts.
I haven't touched it in a while. I didn't give up on it, but I just haven't touched it in a while. I just was playing. I finished Last of Us, the first one. I had the remaster. Yeah, not the remake. I think the remake's a new one, right?
Yeah.
I had the remaster for PS4. It was fun. It was good. I had an appreciation for the show more after I completed the game. And then I started part 2 almost immediately. And that's taken my time. So yeah, any other game, you know, this game, when it's in disarray, I like to find other things to do. But
Yeah, like I said, I know I rambled on it the other week, but just ranked just does not seem fun right now.
right. And I can't say that I blame you, to be honest.
It just sucks because I want to at least get you to gold or help you get to gold.
I'll get there.
We can get there.
Thresh right
just get
now
that skin.
is actually busted, and he's not touched on this patch, by the way, guys. If you can play Thresh, with I think 2 items and max rank Q, his hook is on like a 3-second cooldown. If you hit somebody, it's like 6 seconds if you don't hit anything, but if you hit somebody, it's like 3 seconds.
The refund, yeah.
And that refund starts, or the countdown starts the hook has a second activation. The countdown starts when that second activation is available. So it's like you just free hooks, basically no cooldown. It's pretty disgusting too, because once you land one, you're gonna have good success landing a second one and then even a third one, because they're not gonna know what to do to get the hell away from you. So
So you guys take it from one hooker to another. Play Thresh.
Amy Hooker.
That was a bad joke.
That was a good one. No, I like it. Play Thresh
right.
if you can. But without further adu, let's get into these patch notes. You know, obviously, first thing on this list here is Milio, aka Ultra Mega Fire Kick Boy. I don't think I can let the name of that skill go ever.
It's gonna be
It's a meme in and of itself.
Yeah, we'll see how he does. I know Yumi is getting hit on this patch. I'm probably going to keep banning her, but we'll see. It'll probably just take one game against this kid, and then I'll be like, nope, no thanks.
Yeah, I'm excited to try him. He seems kind of up my alley. Like you have a enchanter that can be played offensively as well as defensively. That's the kind of enchanter I like to play. I'm a fan of the Namis and the Renatas who play offensively and defensively like that. So, but I
Yeah,
guess
I was gonna say, make sure look at the video rundown that we did a
Yes.
few episodes ago,
Yes.
or go to watch. I'm sure the champion spotlights coming out in the next day or two.
Do they
So
post
go watch.
spotlights anymore? I haven't seen a spotlight in forever.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
Okay.
I don't know if I think Freak does them still.
Because I see the
I don't know.
trailers and I see the insights, but I never see the spotlights anymore. I haven't
It
looked
usually
for one.
comes out the day of the champion
Okay.
is released.
Okay.
Since this is we're doing this on Tuesday,
Sure.
but Wednesday, whatever. But all right, tell me about Ash here.
Ash is getting a damage buff, guys. It's on her passive, the Frost Shot. So the damage against frosted enemies, it was 110 plus 75% crit strike chance. Sorry, I said 110. It's 110% of her damage plus 75% crit strike chance. It's now 115% of her AD plus 75% crit strike damage. So
5%, baby.
5% is everything as we know. Thank you, Joe Rogan. Ash, as we know, tends to be considered a low damage AD carry, but she does a lot of good, consistent damage in laning phase. She just tends to fizzle out a little bit. So adding that extra 5% is super helpful, especially since they took away a lot of power in her volley that applies the Frost Shot. So being able to just get a little bit extra damage is super helpful because it's not on her W anymore. So they're forcing you to auto attack.
They completely got rid of it.
No, but they nerfed that cooldown on her W so hard, and they nerfed the mana cost on it a couple. I think it was 1 or 2 patches ago. That
Right.
yeah, the W you can't rely on that as your damage source anymore. You have to rely on your Q, and your Q obviously buffs off of the passive because it's just an attack speed steroid and a buff to that. So giving her a little bit extra damage in her auto attacks is super fucking helpful.
You still max W, right?
I think so. I think you do.
Yeah,
It helps
because
for
it gets
wave
down.
clear.
It gets down to a 4-second cooldown.
Yeah, like it's still good later. They nerfed it for support, which makes sense, and they're just putting the damage back into her auto attacks, which is where it should
Right.
be.
And they buffed the Q last patch.
Right,
too.
right. And so I think they're trying to not overpower her, but just slightly make her more and more meta friendly, if that makes sense.
So, are we thinking it's gonna be good to not build Rageblade and go full crit?
Yes, go full crit on Ash. I was talking to Purple about this last week. On hit Ash is fine, but you just do absolutely no damage later. Whereas if you go crit Ash, your slow is fatter because I believe
Right.
that scales off her crit chance, and B, you're gonna get more damage out of it in the long run, especially against tanks.
Yeah, as long as you're hitting the same
Right.
frosted.
Right, and tanks are quite prevalent in the game right now, so I think that's the better way to go. So yeah,
All right. So Infinity as Ash, guys.
yeah.
All right. Aurelion Soul's up next. Homie has been getting hit with a lot of nerfs.
He has. He needs
He's
that.
still he's still very, very OP. So let's see. E cooldown increased. R upgrade Stardust requirement increased. CC duration decreased. Cast range decreased. All right. So the E singularity cooldown was 12 to 10 seconds. Now it is 12 at all ranks. I don't think that is anything to sweat if you guys are playing as champion. 2 seconds
Right.
is not that great. This ability is so fucking strong, dude. Like, I've just been watching those few LCS games with like Palafox playing him, and the enemy team gets Baron, and you just infinitely wave clear as soon this thing gets fucking huge,
Dude.
later in game, and it just takes up like the whole width of a lane.
Yeah.
And the execute range it gets pretty nuts, and you just like one shot waves. I think that's like the most frustrating thing about this dude is like he's just so.
Have you seen
So,
the
yeah.
Asol Malzahar combo? Oh, Malzahar drops the ult. Asol just holds Q, and then drops the ult right on top of whoever it is that's being ulted. They're just dead. They're just dead. It's disgusting. I'll see if I can't find the video that I was sent earlier today, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking nasty. No, but it's funny because you mentioned Palafox, and I always think of Palafox now when I think of Asol. He used to be synonymous with Huhi, and now I think it might be synonymous with Palafox because this thing is just fucking over goddamn powered, and it does so much damage. It you do sack some lane prio early game, but like once you get to mid game, this champion's busted as fuck.
I think what you get, if you're going like Roa or Leandries, whatever, whenever you get something that's going to give you like mana to just sit on, or I mean, you can go tier 2.
Right.
You just infinitely wave clear and you just never run out of mana. So,
Basically.
but let's see. So for the ultimate Falling Star, the Skies Descend. Stardust requirement for the Skies Descend was 75. Now it's 100. Falling Star stun duration was 1 1/4 second. Now it is 1 second flat. Falling Star cast range was 1250. Now it is 1100. The Skies Descend knockup duration was 1 1/4 seconds. Now it is 1 second. And then the Skies Descend, just like Falling Star, was 1250 for the cast range. Now it is 1100. I still don't think it is that bad.
Right.
Maybe the Stardust thing, so you can't be spamming that fat ulti, the like fucking dinosaur ending, world ending meteorite.
Hold on. Do you remember that show, The Dinosaurs? With the puppet dinosaurs, and they...
Dude, didn't that show end hella depressingly?
Yeah, the last episodes when the meteor hit and they didn't know what to do.
Dude,
yeah,
that was a child show, right? Like that was...
It was like a family sitcom. I don't know if it was necessarily a child show, but it was definitely a family sitcom. And it had one of the most depressing endings for a sitcom.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
maybe for a television show ever. And I know this is totally just off the rocks, but the
No, we're bringing it wrapped around because Aurelion Sol killed them.
It basically, dude, the impending meteor, they're sitting there as they were just ready to experience the Ice Age, and that's just how the show ends. And you're just like, oh my God.
Holy shit.
The dinosaurs died. Like, that's how it feels when you die to Aurelion Sol. So there you go. Dr. Mundo's next on the list. Dr. Mundo's got a bit of they call it an adjustment. The way I see it is they're buffing him a little bit early, making him a little bit weaker later. And they're just kind of saying that his early game sucks, but he's like ridiculously good late game. So they're trying to get him somewhere in the middle there. So base stats, his base health regen was 6.5 per 5. It's now going to be 7 per 5. And his health regen scaling was 0.55. It's not going to be 0.5. So he gets more to start, but he's not going to gain as much later. It's going to work out to be kind of even. They're just pushing the power early as opposed to late. The W, Heart Zapper, had a recast timer of 1 second. They're dropping it to a half second, so you can hit it almost immediately. And then the E, the Blunt Force Trauma, does bonus damage to jungle monsters. It was 150%. It's now 200%.
Big.
So if you remember when was it the beginning of this season, the end of last season, where he was going crazy in the jungle, and they had to nerf that
because they nerfed. Yeah, so they're just putting it back, right?
Yeah, they're just changing it. I think the problem was he was scaling too hard to late game, and he was just becoming unstoppable in the jungle because of that. So they're trying to put it a little bit earlier, so it doesn't scale quite so hard, so you can kind of play against him, if that makes sense.
Fuck, catch me playing Mundo jungle, dude. I'll be good. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to Galio. W magic and physical damage reduction increase. E cooldown decrease. Oh boy. So the Shield of Durand, his W, the magic damage reduction was 20 to 40 plus 8% per 100 bonus magic resist plus 5% AP is now 25 to 45% plus 12% per 100 bonus magic resistance, keeping the same 5% AP. And then the physical damage reduction was 10 to 20% plus 4% per 100 bonus magic resistance plus 2.5% AP is now 12.5 to 22.5% plus 6% per 100 bonus magic resistance, keeping the same 2.5% AP. I know we just did Galio, right?
Yeah, we did actually recently.
I don't remember talking about that his magic resist or the physical damage reduction scaled off his magic resist. Do we talk about that?
I think we did. I think we
That's
both.
just
I think we said at the time like I didn't realize that was killed off his MR.
yeah. I'm just reliving that right now. That's wow.
But
Okay. Oh, obviously he's an anti-mage
right,
tank, right?
right,
But
right.
it makes sense.
That's
big.
He's weak as shit right now. Nobody's playing him, so it's definitely good to see him get some buffs. There's one more buff on here too.
Yeah, yeah. So Justice Punch, his E was the cooldown was 12 to 8 seconds. Now it is 11 to 7 seconds. So
1 second.
are we feeling Galio support again?
Maybe, he was actually really good in support, but I don't know. With Milio and it being like back to enchanters, I feel like as a support, Alistair does what Galio does, but better. The difference is Galio has that ulti, but maybe it depends if you're looking at like a Veigar bot lane, which has been pretty popular and we'll get to.
Or maybe
It's
like
more matchup specific.
like
But I still think Thresh might be better.
I wonder if like full tank Galio would be better instead of like people playing mid lane with what's the fucking
Yeah, they take
the mage
Everfrost.
item?
Or
Everfrost,
actually, you know what?
yeah.
I wouldn't even go Everfrost anymore. I would actually go Rod of Ages.
okay.
Just because you get the health and the mana, and then you get the refund from the catalyst. Well, actually, you know what? I wouldn't go Rod. I take that all back. I wouldn't go Rod of Ages because you would want to go Abyssal Mask.
Abyssal Mask. Oh, here we go.
No, you actually would because he's a
I
melee
know.
champion. He's right in the middle of the mix. Abyssal
So that's
way
what I'm
better
thinking
there. So
is,
I take
are
all
we-
that back. Maybe
Are we
do go
feeling like
Everfrost.
top lane tank Galio, like Jack Show, like full tank that just
Maybe.
doesn't take any fucking damage?
Jack would be pretty gross.
I wonder. I want to. I'm gonna look at him really quick one
Yeah.
more time. I just want to know what his I gotta remind myself what his like base damage, because I know the Q obviously was the percent.
Right.
I remember we talked about.
Well,
that
he gets
bullshit.
some decent damage just from his passive.
That's right. Yeah, that's the other. Oh, man, he has such good wave clear. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so
If he didn't have that, his wave clear would be fucking cheeks. The only problem
Right,
with
okay,
playing
so-
him in a bot or a top lane is that like the ulti gets very difficult to use because it's not cross map. Like you really have to roll. for that.
Yeah, that is true.
That's like the biggest downfall, which is why he works so well mid because he doesn't have to roam very far to go one way or the other. And I think that's
Oh, yeah,
why he doesn't see a whole lot of top play.
Fuck it, I'll try it.
But no,
I don't give a
in
shit.
dude, in lower elo, I think you're fine. You're not as team based as you are in like a pro game. So I think you have some room. It'd be worth a shot.
All right.
All right, let's go down to Talon, who's next on the list. And you can tell there's not a whole lot of champions on this list because we're at T already. So Talon's getting some buffs. He hasn't seen the light of day in quite some time, and I think that's a good thing because this champion's incredibly frustrating
Right.
to play against when he ults. So he's getting base stats. He's getting a mana buff, 23 mana from 377 to 400 even. He's getting a passive buff as well. His passive damage did 75 to 255 based on level with a 200% bonus AD scale. It's now 80 to 280 based on level with a 210% bonus AD scale. So getting a lot more there. I mean, you're talking 5 early, but was it 25 late? Yeah, 25 late and then an extra 10% on top of that of your bonus AD. So that's still good. And then the W Rake is getting a mana cost nerf. So, or I guess it's a mana cost buff. It's the dropping the mana
Yeah.
cost, to put it that way. It was 55 to 75. It's not going to be 50 to 70 based on rank of the ability. So, dropping 5 mana, gaining 23 mana in all, means he can use Rake about 4 more times. More or less.
I just don't want to see motherfuckers spamming Talon jungle, because that shit was annoying.
It's not so bad when it's not tank Talon jungle. Remember, it was like Gore Drinker.
like
it was
Bruiser,
Like, or Bruiser.
okay.
I said tank. I mean Bruiser Talon jungle.
No,
and I
got
think
you, yeah.
I think that's why they. I don't remember if they changed his passive to have bonus AD or if it was raw AD before. But I think that's a particular reason why it's bonus AD and not raw AD. Is like, hey, fuck this Bruiser thing. Like,
Go assassin.
yeah. If you're gonna play an assassin, play a fucking assassin.
Okay. I moved on to Vayne. Now, Vayne, this is the one change I actually did see.
Yeah.
And this is very, very fucking scary.
Yeah.
So Vayne passive bonus movement speed increased, Q bonus damage increased, empowered attack duration decreased, W damage adjusted. So passive, the Night Hunter, as you guys know, I believe it's literally, her passive says Vayne is fighting evildoers and she gains bonus movement speed running towards enemies.
I think so. I think you're right.
It's something like silly like that.
It is.
Because, Vayne's like, yeah. So the bonus movement speed while moving towards enemies was 30. Now it is 45. And then keep in mind, when you are in final hour, that bonus is doubled.
Wow.
So it'll be 90 while she's an ulti. And that range that she can chase people in is pretty fat. If you've never seen the range you have to be in to get that passive
It's like the
going,
whole screen, isn't it?
it's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. And then moving on to Tumble, Q. The bonus physical damage was 60 to 80% AD. Now it is 75 to 115% AD. What the fuck?
Yeah, and the other thing that's crazy, too, is if you read the next part.
The empowered attack duration was 7 seconds. Now it is 3 seconds.
So I just want to...
So you just got to get it off a little bit quicker.
I want to extrapolate on this a bit. A big problem that Vayne has is if she's running away from somebody and she can't auto attack after she tumbles, her Q doesn't start resetting until that auto attack goes off or until the 7 seconds runs out. Right. Now, you only have 3 seconds to hit the attack, and yeah, it hits more like a truck, but if you're running away, you're also going to be able to get away more easily. You'll be able to cast that again twice in the amount of time it would take for the old duration to fall off. So she's going to be able to reposition a lot, and I think this is actually a huge fucking buff. It doesn't seem like it. Like, yeah, there's the damage part, but to me it's the reset, like the runaway mechanic, or to be able to maybe tumble away and then re-engage and be able to tumble again. Pair that with her ulti, she'll be able to tumble more often and be more invisible.
Right, that was the other thing I was going to look up.
Damage aside, like all the other shit, the ability to reposition as Vayne is so crucial to her being good that they just allow her to do that more often without having to land the auto attack, which is fucking nuts.
Because, okay, let me finish this, and I'll continue my thoughts. And then the Silver Bolts, the percent health damage was 4 to 12% targets maximum health. Now it is 6 to 10 targets maximum health, so it's a little bit higher early, and it's a little bit less late. But, so, I'm looking at the LoL Wiki, and basically what I'm seeing with this, you are maxing Q now.
Yeah.
I believe there's no point to max W first.
No.
The damage is fucking insane.
Right.
The cooldown at max rank is 2 seconds.
Yep.
And then, of course, so you mentioned in final hour, you get, is it half, 1 second less? Reduced cooldown.
Yeah, I don't remember
it gets a reduced cooldown.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 30, 40, and then 50% as you rank up your ulti.
There you go.
Okay, so it's... This is really scary, and this is also very scary for like top lane Vayne.
That's what it almost looks like to me too, with the early damage and the lack of damage later. Like it seems very top lane oriented. And if I was playing this champion, I might put a second point in W because that's still a buff at that point, and then be maxing Q. You know, obviously you go QWE, and then I might put a second one in W just to get that extra 1% on the Silver Bolts.
I think it would depend.
Q, but it depends who you're playing against too, obviously.
If I'm playing top lane and I'm going against a tank, maybe I would probably do that. Bot lane, I mean, you're just gonna. I don't see this lasting very long.
No,
this is
they're gonna
very dangerous.
That empowered attack duration is gonna partially revert or fully revert.
That is insane, dude. 35% at increase.
Yeah.
And it's not even bonus AD. It's just AD.
Yep. So
Riot, fuck you.
Thank you, Rito.
All right.
Veigar. Getting nerfs for the bot lane. Veigar is actually pretty good right now in pretty much any position. But he's been really good as like a ADC because you don't really have to do anything. You can lane pretty safely against most ADCs. It gets a little tough when you're playing against an aggressive bot lane, but that's like the only thing that they can do to counter Veigar. And those are usually early game champions, and Veigar scales like a fucking monster. because of his
Yep.
passive. So if you can be safe, even if you can't be safe, hell, I played Veigar the other day. I didn't have to be safe. I died a lot, and I still I still hit like a fucking truck. So his base health is going down from 575 to 550. His base armor is dropping by 3 from 21 to 18, which also means those mid lane assassins, like the Talon that just got buffed, are going to be really good into Veigar too. Especially Zed. Zed is always really good because Zed can get out of his cage with his shadow.
Yep.
Which is fucking disgusting and shouldn't work like that, but it does. And then Ezreal mid's also a thing as of late, I think, in Korea, and that's a very good counter into Veigar as well.
Bro,
as Kassadin.
I've been seeing Moonstone Ezreal.
Yes, you know who's been... God, who is it that's doing that?
It wasn't Showmaker, was it?
It might be Showmaker. I think it is
I'm like-
Showmaker.
I remember I saw like a Reddit post that was like, Ezreal can now literally use any fucking
mythic.
item.
Because he doesn't build Mythic
Yeah.
first. He builds Essence Reaver and then...
Manamune.
Manamune, yeah. So he doesn't even use a mythic until later. So it's like, yeah, build whatever you want. Like, sure, build fucking Moonstone. It helps your team out. It gives you mana regen, gives you AP damage, which you use. It gives you everything that you need, you know? Fucking disgusting. And Veigar's W Dark Matter, magic damage buff here. It's going to be nerfed early, buffed later. So it was 100 to 300 base. With a 100% AP ratio, it's now 85 to 305 base with a 100% AP ratio. So
It's mainly a nerf.
yeah, it is mainly a nerf because you're not maxing this first. You're maxing your Q first so you can Q farm and scale up. But later, it's going to hit even harder than it already does. Not that much harder, but it's going to hit harder.
I think it's gonna just tickle your butthole.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna hit as hard as like a teddy bear being thrown at you, I think.
There you go. I was going to say a balloon.
Okay. What kind of balloon though? Like a weather balloon?
A Mylar balloon. Could be a weather... Is it a Chinese weather balloon?
Yeah, I was gonna say Brandon shooting that thing down, man.
Dark,
All right,
Dark
we're
Brandon?
okay. Joe Brandon.
I love Joe Brandon. That's my favorite fucking saying. Okay, sorry.
All right, here we go.
Move on to the fucking cat before we fucking derail this to Joe Brandon's house.
Yumi, baby. I called it. I was saying this champion was going to get the shit nerfed out of her again because she was very OP.
She got nerfed 2 weeks ago, right after the patch dropped.
But she got hot fix.
Yeah,
too.
and it was
Like,
a hot fix nerf, so she got nerfed 2 weeks ago, and she's getting nerfed again, motherfuckers. Let's go.
I still have not played against the new Yumi.
It's...
I'm banning it every fucking game.
I've played it once. We didn't win, but this champion doesn't feel weak. She doesn't feel the same as she did before. Let me put it that way. It's her Q has a learning curve that it didn't have before. It took me a good 15 Qs to figure out how the fuck to land that thing at max range.
All right, well, let's see. So we're nerfing the Q.
Yep.
The cooldown was 7.5 to 6 1/4 seconds. Now it is 6.5 seconds at all ranks.
Okay.
The mana cost was 50 to 75. Now it is 50 to 100. The unattached missile speed was 1,000. Now it is 850. The enhanced missile speed was 1,900. Now it is 1,650. And the max range in a straight line was 2,000. Now it is 1,725. So I guess people were still maxing Q.
Yeah.
That's why they're hitting it pretty hard.
I mean, there was no reason not to.
Right. The base stats were fucking insane.
Right.
And then the final chapter, the overheal shield duration was 3 seconds. Now it is 1.5 seconds, and says, note the shield will last the full duration of the spell, which is 3.5 seconds, plus this amount of time. And then I remember we talked about this. For other fucking reason, they decided to, when she ulted, it gave her best friend 20, 40, 60, plus 10% AP armor and magic resist.
Yeah.
Don't understand. That is gone. So they're not a fucking... They don't get heat... Like... Why? The ability would... It didn't root anymore.
No.
So it slowed.
And
It healed.
and you can guide it now.
Yeah, right. You can reposition it yourself. That was a great quality of life.
I
change.
actually forgot about that, and I was like, scared to use my fucking ulti. I'm like, oh, they're just gonna walk around it, and then I'd use them like, oh yeah, you can fucking guide this thing now like it's a Q or something. Stupid, fucking ridiculous.
It's just they just pumped so much shit into this. So it healed. If you overhealed, you got a shield, and then it made you a fucking tank.
Yeah,
Sure, okay, 3.5 seconds,
yeah,
but you're nearly unkillable.
right.
Riot, I don't know what they're gonna do with this champion.
They don't know what they're gonna do with this champion.
I
They're trying to make something easy to play, or like I understand her existence in the game has reason, right? Like you put this champion in the game because you want to bring in new players with it and give them something that's not mechanically intense to learn. She still has a learning curve, but this game has such a fucking learning curve that like it's easier if you give us a champion like obviously Garen, right? He's a very fairly easy, straightforward champion to learn, but to master, he's not terribly hard to master. But if you master him, you can get great rewards out of it. It's the same thing with Yuumi, except Yuumi's mastery ceiling is even lower than Garen's because you don't have to position yourself really, which makes it that much more simple.
it just seems to me this feels like the issue they had with Zeri last year when Zeri was released. Every patch getting nerfed, getting changed. It just doesn't seem like they have a goal.
But now it seems like they've got Zeri where they want her, right?
Sure, but it only took a fucking year.
It took forever. I'm not mad at this experiment with Yuumi because like I said, I think she deserves, the game deserves a champion that can be played easily like her, if that makes sense. We just got to figure out how do we incorporate that without making it OP for people that are good at the game, but without making it too weak to the point where like don't play that fucking thing. You know what I mean?
It makes me nervous. Like I said, I don't think they have a plan because they whipped up this mid scope in like 2 months,
right?
Whereas other mid scopes took like 4 or 5 months to figure out. Like I think the Sivir one we talked about last year was a long time coming,
right?
But they just kind of, I feel like they just put a bunch of shit in a fucking hat and they pull it out and they're like, okay, we're doing this. Oh, we're going to give your best friend extra resistances during ulti. Perfect. Do it. Ship it. And then a patch later. All right, guys. That was a dumb idea. And now we're just, we kind of fucked up. But it doesn't matter to me. I'm banning this piece of shit every fucking game.
You won't do it?
Doesn't matter. Oh, I already am doing it.
You won't fucking
if I could ban Yuumi 5 fucking times in one game, I would do it.
5 times in one game, huh?
Exactly. If like everybody on my team, if we could ban the same champion, like imagine if how fucking insane would that be? If in Champ Select, like when you hover a ban, it shows everybody on your team what you're banning. If it was all like what's the word? Where they can't see it.
Oh, hidden?
Yeah, if that was hidden, and then everyone's just 5 fucking bans with the same champion.
That would be funny.
That's stupid.
That would be funny.
I know. I would do it though.
Fuck it.
All
All right, let's. Go ahead.
That's it for the champions.
That's it. Yeah, let's move down to the items. We got a couple quick ones. Let me just run through these 3, and then
go for it.
You got the runes after that. So, first item change is Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster is getting a nerf to the shield. So it was shield 180 to 450, and you could only get 180 up to level 9. Then you get plus 30 per level. It's now 100 to 400, and it's 100 up to level 8, then 30 per level. So overall nerf. Obviously, they want you to build this probably 3rd. I mean, maybe 2nd, but probably 3rd.
We've been seeing people rushing this.
Right. So they're trying to put that away. Say, look, if you're gonna rush a lifesteal, AD crit item, then just rush fucking shield bow. That's what they're trying to push you to. So it's just a small. They're just trying to push it back an extra slot, so that way it's not so early. Okay, next is Nashor's Tooth. I don't know why, but this is basically a full revert from what it used to be.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Total cost is going up from 3,000 to 3,200. The recipe is changing. It was a Blasting Wand, Recurve Bow, Amp Tome. It's now Blasting Wand, Recurve Bow, and Fiendish Codex. And you're going to get 15 ability haste added to this item as well.
Let's go.
So they're just, I guess they want to kind of make it fit in the same kind of niche as Blade of the Ruin King. And when I think of this item, Blade of the Ruin King is one that comes to mind, and so is Wit's End. So I guess that makes sense. And then last in the items list is Navori Quick Blades. Obviously the best performing ADC capstone. Not totally by a long shot, but it's the best performing. That's why you're seeing a lot of the spellcasters, the Zayas and whatnot, pick this up quite frequently and be played more frequently. So the cooldown reduction on autos was 15% of remaining cooldown. It's now 12% of the remaining cooldown. So they are nerfing it just a little bit to try to bring it more in line with Infinity Edge's power.
I bet you won't even tell the difference.
At 3%, I don't think it's enough to make it. It's enough to make a small difference, not enough for you to probably tell, even especially at a low elo area.
All right, moving on to runes. We got 2 here. Legend Bloodline. The lifesteal per stack was 0.4%. Now it is 0.35%. And then the max health on 15 stacks with 100. Now it is 85. I forget about that all the fucking time, that it gives you health. All the time. I'm like, oh, I'm just doing this for lifesteal.
Right.
But you see 100 health. Now it's 85. And then, or when are they going to fucking fix the display?
Never.
For these?
Literally never. Never.
I don't understand why that's still in the game. Right. Like, it'll say, like, oh, you have 100%, and then when I hover over it, it says I have 1% lifesteal.
Tell them that you have these nuts.
Are they just, like... They must have some nuts in their fucking mouths. I don't know.
Dean, what do they always do when they're not doing the right thing? They're farting in each other's faces. Clearly.
So, I mean, apparently that's better than running a game.
I don't know.
What are we doing right now?
The wrong thing, apparently. Apparently you can make money farting in each other's faces. I don't know. Jackass did it.
Ew, no, God. Ew.
Clip it. Clip it.
Right. And then lethal tempo, the attack speed for range users was 30 to 54, maxed at level 12. Now it is 24 to 54, maxed at level 18.
Nice.
So, getting an overall nerf. And then, yeah, tell me about the Drakes here.
All right, let me read their blurb because there's a lot here. In patch 12.14, we buffed the rewards for killing Drakes to incite some early game action after the durability update. The changes achieve this goal, but put more importance on the bottom half of the map, especially during laning phase. With the recent changes to bot lane, it's almost always correct to only focus attention on Dragon and bot lane. We're removing the Dragon rewards of the stronger buffs, namely Hextech, back to a value between 12-13 in the last patch. These aren't massive shifts to the power of the objective, but are meant to combine with general bot lane nerfs to make the game feel a bit less decided based on the state of the bottom half of the map. So, Hextech Drake bonus ability haste and attack speed is dropping. It was 9 to 36%, scaling on how many dragons you have. It's now 7.5 to 30%. The Hextech Soul base slow was 45% or 35% for ranged, decaying over 2 seconds. It's now 40% for melee, 30% for ranged, decaying over 2 seconds. Infernal's got a small nerf here. The bonus AD and AP was 6 to 24, scaling on dragons. It's now 5 to 20, so you're losing 1% there. Mountain Drake has a similar nerf. You're going to lose 1% across the board on the bonus armor and MR. It was 9 to 36%. It's now 8 to 32%. And Ocean Drake's got a even smaller nerf, but bigger later. Missing health regen was 3% to 12%. It's now 2.5 to 9%. So big nerf on if you have 4 Ocean Drakes, which is not that common.
I was going to say, really it's not that common to get to any of these 4.
Right, so you're looking at the second rare one. A lot of times you'll see 2. Sometimes you'll see 3 of one dragon, like if you didn't get the first one or whatever. But like a lot of times you'll see that there's 2 on a team. So really that middle number, so for Hextech, you're looking at 7.5 or 15% as opposed to 9 or 18%. Infernal, you're looking at 5 or 10 as opposed to 6 or 12%. Mountain, you're looking at 9-18, or sorry, 8-16 against what it used to be 9-18, and then Ocean Drake was 3-6. It's now 2.5 and 5. So you have that to look at.
All right, don't give a shit about ARAM.
There is something I wanted to add here. The normal queues are getting an April Fool's change, guys.
Yeah, game mode.
Yes, it doesn't say what it is. It just says we're working on a few updates to improve your blind pick experience. I don't know who's playing blind pick, so there's that. These changes will go into effect late into the night, March 31st, local time. These changes will be so good you won't be able to resist tipping your hat in approval, like even a Poro would jump for joy. But seriously, make sure you go check out Blind between April 1st and April 3rd, according to your local dates.
Bro, it's gonna be fucking Earth.
Right, watch it be Earth. I might take a shit on my keyboard if it's Earth.
I will play blind pick though. Like, come on.
Whatever, let it be blind pick. That's fine. Give me something fun in blind pick. No one plays that queue, which is why they're saying
right,
there's a fucking conundrum in that. Oh, the other thing was behavioral systems. I don't know if you were going to comment on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say bystander feedback reports. Players who were in a game where they were exposed to disruptive behavior but did not report themselves will receive a notification to inform that we took action. We know that even if you don't report, disruptive behavior harms your experience. We want to encourage players to report when they experience disruptive behavior and provide more clarity on what we consider unacceptable behavior in League. I mean, I guess that's nice. There's sometimes I forget to report a dipshit.
Right. Well, we know that multiple reports means they're going to look into it harder, so I guess it's just a thing. And maybe if you're on the other team and someone was being a dipshit and all chat and you have all chat turned off, maybe, I don't know. Competitive. Oh, they are going to buff your LP win and nerf your loss amount, I believe, when your visible rank approximately matches your MMR. So you would win 22 LP. You're not going to win 25 if you're in a game that matches where your MR should be, or where your visible your visible rank is where your MMR is. If that makes sense. I can't explain it.
So if you're more at your even level, you'll lose more too.
Right.
That's what. Yeah. So.
Right. Oh, and then the Mythic Shop, Ashen Guardian Shen. He's coming out. He's got his own chrome.
I'm over the Ashen Guardian.
They're doing it for everybody.
Give me a new skin line, dude. Come on.
Like, they don't want to do it. Ashen Guardian Shen looks sick though. I like his wings.
It looks good, but I'm just kind of.
We need something different, for sure. And then you have all the Fairy Court champions skins out as well. Other than that, I don't have anything.
I'm looking at the bug fixes. In LCS, I guess Viego is disabled for playoffs.
Oh.
There's some bug, because I was listening to the dive today.
Yeah.
It's in particular just for the LCS, because apparently, like, unless LEC is playing on a different patch, like, Viego was played this past weekend in the LEC, but it's going to be disabled for LCS. I don't know. I don't know if what the fuck's going on with that champion, but he's not going to be able to be played, which is a hard nerf to closer.
Yeah, it is.
I think he's going to play. I wanted to see if there were any other.
My favorite is the skin adjustments. Broken Covenant Rakan's eyebrows were updated to better match the ones from the splash art.
There's probably 5 people that complain about that.
Who? I don't know. Why?
Yeah,
we're wasting our time on this. And what does it say that they should have been doing instead of farting in each other's faces?
You know, I will give it to them. I didn't see any misspelling or grammatical errors. Right.
I did see that some of these things they bolded and some of them they didn't bold, so that was dumb. But like this was more
step
consistent.
In the right position.
Far more consistent.
Direction.
Maybe they're listening to us.
They're listening.
Riru,
to us,
are
right?
you listening?
So yeah, we got the Fairy Court skins coming out. The Karma one looks incredible. I can't believe Karma. We're living in an age where Karma's getting a legendary skin.
Finally, dude. All of our other skins are so boring.
even though I hate and I will never play Katarina, the Katarina skins.
Looks cool.
I personally like the base one better than the Prestige.
Let me look at
The base fairy course
base one's way
Katarina
cooler.
looks way cooler.
She actually looks like an evil fairy.
And then, of course, Melio. We got Callista. Oh, I like the Callista one where she's like human almost.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
a human
yeah.
face.
That's cool, too. Okay. She kind of looks like, is it Thumbelina?
Okay.
Kind of? I don't know. Or like a fairy from that series. Just because she's kind of a humanoid. But yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to add, dude.
Nope, that's it, guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe,
Yeah,
rate,
please.
review
Please.
wherever you're listening to right now. This is episode 140. Reminder, at episode 150, so about a month and a half,
5 weeks,
we'll be doing a giveaway stream. I know I have not been streaming that much recently. I'm trying to get back into it. Just work throughout the week and then trying to spend the weekend with Rayan. This is kind of killing me. Not that that's a bad thing, but yeah, we'll be doing a giveaway stream for 150 episodes. I can't believe we've almost been doing this for 2 years now.
Nuts.
Pretty insane. But yeah, guys, subscribe, join the Discord, hit the link tree, come join and hang out with all of us. We're having a blast in here, and we're trying to set up some games. I know a lot of people were trying to. I think Azap was trying to get some people to play Clash.
Yeah.
But, we're a little busy.
Aslor, Azap, both of them, I believe. So we'll get there. It's just been busy. So
Yeah, guys, we will be back on Friday. I have no idea what champions we're doing, but we'll be back then.
I haven't looked. So yeah, we'll get back there when we get there.
Other than that, guys, have a good week, and we will see you on Friday.
Later, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Click right here to see the previous episode of the According to Low Elo podcast. Click right here to see the most recent gameplay video. Thanks again.